Greetings. My name is Marissa Fodi. I am an English language fellow living here in Korça, Albania. I am so grateful for my experience at Fanuli University and just want to express my profound gratitude for all of the teachers, the co-teachers, the administrators, the students, the neighbor. Also so grateful again to have had this experience and also to have these podcasts to look back on as a lasting memory. So for today, my passion project is traveling. Ever since I was a little girl, I have always been reading books about different places in the world, different lives, different times in history. And as early as I could in my life, I tried to figure out how I could travel. I was very fortunate in that in my high school, there were some foreign exchange students in my high school. There was a girl from Poland who was attending our high school for 1 year, and there was a boy from Venezuela who was attending our high school, as well as another guy from Chile. As I realized this, I befriended them, and I asked them so many questions about their countries and their culture, and also how I could do what they were doing. So I learned that there was a foreign exchange program, and there are many different foreign exchange programs, but one of which is the Rotary Youth Exchange Program. So myself and actually my best friend, Katie Cannon, shout out Katie Cannon, we figured out how we could get involved in this program and also do an exchange where we were living in a foreign country. And so this was when I was a young 16-year-old. At the time, I saw myself as mature and grown, but when I look back, I think, wow, I was so young to be doing that. But that really set me on my path as someone who just genuinely loves to step outside of their comfort zone and get into the travel mode. So as a teenager, I lived with different families and I explored my new city in Brazil. I made friends with other exchange students from around the world and of course Brazilian students. And this really sparked the flame inside me about a love for travel. I love travel in general, but I would have to say that a bigger passion of mine is actually solo traveling. I think for many people, solo traveling, meaning traveling alone by yourself to other places, sounds terrifying. And to be honest, it did for me at first as well. But I think that once you get past the fear and you put yourself in these unknown situations, the beauty is that you find that everyone is human, and most people, with some very rare exceptions, most people are very good people. I remember my first solo trip I decided to do for my spring break as a teacher. I decided to travel to the European countries where they ride bikes as their main form of transportation. So maybe you can guess what two European cities are known for being the most bike friendly. And I took a week and I spent the first half of the week in Amsterdam and the second half of the week in Copenhagen. And I called this solo adventure a bikecation. Not a vacation, but a bikecation. Because as soon as I landed in Amsterdam, I rented a bicycle. And I just found such an incredible sense of freedom and flexibility in just being able to ride around and explore the city and soak up the energy and see the beautiful sights and the canals, stop and have a tea, look at all of the beautiful monuments, ride in the parks, have a picnic. It was such an incredibly liberating experience. I really feel like it felt like I feel like the act of solo traveling, whether it's on foot or on a bike or however you get around, it really helps you to get in touch with who you really are, because it brings you right into the present moment. When you're solo traveling, there really isn't any opportunities to feel anxious about the future or about the past, because you are really navigating a new place in real time. And so it feels like a walking meditation in my experience. I find that I'm truly allowed to decide, what do I want to do next? Where do I want to see next? Whereas when you're traveling with your family or a partner or a friend or a sister or a brother, it's hard. You're oftentimes negotiating. Okay, you're hungry. Okay, then I guess we'll eat. You want to see this. I want to see this. And you're constantly making compromises when you travel with others. But when you are solo traveling, you have this opportunity to really tune into yourself and your desires and your needs. And to me, it's so valuable because it helps one to really get to know oneself. I feel like after every solo trip, I know myself better. I understand more about who I am. And that's a really important gift that is hard to come by. Our lives are so busy and stressful, and we're always working, and there's always a to-do list ahead of us. Sometimes it can be hard to really tune into ourselves, our heart, that voice inside of our heart that is truly speaking our truth. But when you allow yourself some days of solo traveling, to me, that's the point. Listening to your heart's voice. So, that is my passion, traveling and solo traveling. As I said, it's incredibly freeing and liberating. It provides opportunities for self-discovery, reflection, and tuning into your own intuition, your inner voice, your heart song. I think when you're in this state of freedom and the quintessential you, that you meet the right people along the way, because the energy that you are giving is attracting the people who are more attracted to you. In conclusion, I think that the cultural immersion and the personal growth aspects of solo traveling are so rewarding. I highly recommend you take any opportunity possible to explore a place that speaks to you and that you can get away with others or solo. My hope is that this podcast continues on and students continue to find their voice, to find their passions, to ask questions, to observe, to find their sense of curiosity, and to learn how to speak from the heart, which I believe is an ongoing process.